Well, tell me about turning 100. Is it something you've looked forward to for a long time, or is it a big deal or a little deal, or what
Well,
is?
I was thinking about that one day, and I was wondering. I looked back on time, and I came up with one word: short.
Short. Most people would think 100 is long.
Short. It really was. It just all came together real quick. Yeah.
I just think one day at a time, and it works.
Worked for 100 years.
Were you guys like smokers and drinkers and partiers?
No smoking.
No smoking? How about you?
No way.
Did you have fun being a twin?
Well, yeah, we didn't fuss. We got along real good. Did we wrestle? I guess we did, didn't we?
Wrestle?
Yeah, wrestle.
If we did, very little.
At school, we, at recess and noon and so forth, there was time to get out and play. We had a hill there, and in the wintertime, we'd use our sleds. There's someone picked on Ken, and when he was walking away and going back, the fuss was over. I hit him in the back of the head. It was dangerous, but that quieted things down. We lived in a farm home, and we had a big boiler stove that was the source of heat. So in the evenings, they were pretty long, we'd be in this one room, all of us. And then we'd get to fussing around, and we had a sister, and we'd pick on her. Then Dad came in on that.
As soon as we were able, you was out there doing the chores.
What kind of chores?
Livestock.
Very young age.
Yeah, we were busy doing that. And milking. Had to milk the cows by hand. You remember grade
Oh,
school.
yeah.
We used to walk. It
We
was
were a mile from the school.
yeah. It was a half mile one way and another half the other. So we cut through the fields. It was just second nature to go to church. We didn't ask questions about it. Dad had a buggy, two-seated buggy, and we'd get in that buggy and go to church. And then on the way to church, we would see some friends, and they'd be sitting out on the porch, and they'd wave, and I was embarrassed because we didn't have a car.
Oh.
We had to ride in a buggy.
I was drafted. I went to Texas, took my training in Texas for almost a year. Then I was shipped overseas and was sent to Germany right away and was in a combat unit.
Do you remember being shot?
The bullet, it must have been pretty close range because the first thing I felt was heat. That bullet was hot. And then that changed pretty quick because blood started getting into my stomach. But we were very fortunate. We had first aid there. And boy, I was the first one in the room, right out in the field.
Did you two correspond or communicate when he was overseas?
Yeah, we, as much as we could, yeah. There was a time when the letters were inspected. His letters came back, and sometimes they were parts of it were obliterated.
Were you worried about him?
Yeah, sure.
You know, when I walked out of the service permanently, I promised myself that I would forget everything that had happened. And that's the worst thing I ever did. But some of that stuff I'd like to remember.
Ken came to Illinois first, and then I followed. And both of us came because of work. There was work here rather than there. And we stayed at an aunt's house. She wanted boarders. And so we came, and both of us were fortunate enough to get work at Caterpillar.
I mean, do you have any sense of how special it is for twin males to turn 100 years old? I mean, it's pretty unusual.
I realize, I think about that. Yeah, that kind of amazing.